So what's up? How y'all doing? My name is Darrell Smith, also known as Double D. Double D, the college kid. Y'all are tuned in to All About Perspective. We're talking about hip hop and shoes today. I got two special guests with me. If y'all want to say y'all names, y'all can.
What's up, everybody, man? My name is Javarius James. I go by Jay, Bay Area native, Oakland native.
For sure, for sure.
What's up, y'all? I'm Pierre, Oakland native, coming to support my boy Double D and
Sound good.
give our perspective on whatever we want to talk about.
For sure. So we're gonna be talking about basically is hip hop the culture. We're gonna touch on music. We're gonna touch on the fashion. We're gonna touch on even colleges. My boys they both went to college, HBCUs, and I actually want to talk to y'all about the colleges that y'all went to and the fashion and how does it look nowadays. Okay, so hey, remember y'all don't gotta talk on the mic. Y'all can back up and just be comfortable. Cool,
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So yeah. Hey, I've been knowing these cats since what, sixth, seventh grade. So these my brothers. You know what I mean? Blood. Hey, these my brothers. So for sure. So yeah, let's speak on it. What's up? What you on? Oh, live. I'm on live. We on live. What's up with that? All right. So I got some questions for
What's
y'all.
happening?
Y'all see the what are those? I got the what are those sweater on. That's my clothing line, Yo Boy. What are those? Basically, we talking about shoes. Talking about different fashions. What are those? So, what's up with y'all? How y'all doing?
Good, bro. What's happening? We
I'm
chilling.
doing good. I'm doing good. What's your favorite shoe?
I don't know, bro. That's a hard question. I got a lot of favorite shoes.
You got a lot of foams though.
I do.
You
I
got
got
a
a
lot
lot
of
of phone
phones.
posits. My boy from New York, when I was in college,
Uh-huh.
actually put me on phone posits, bro. It was a lot. It was crazy how we met. I always peeped, bro. Had some nice sneakers on. You know what I mean?
Okay,
And
yeah.
we had a conversation one day. Ended up becoming cool friends, man. But long story short, he had on some foams. He was like, "Yo."
What color was it?
He had on the pearls, I think, the first
Okay.
time we saw him. Y'all know, P know him. It's
Yeah.
Julian, it's my boy Julian. Shout out to Julian, man. But yeah, he put me on phones, bro. So for a long time, I rock phones. I mean, I still do, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was my one for a while.
For sure.
For sure,
You know
for
what?
sure.
I ain't never had a pair of phones.
You?
As many pair of shoes that I got, I never had a pair of phones.
Yeah, that's
So
how
are
it
they
go. That's how it
comfortable?
be. Yeah, for the most part. I ain't never really hooped in them, but for the
Okay.
most part, they comfortable.
For sure. What
Yeah.
about you, P?
Oh man, my favorite pair of shoes.
Sneakerhead P.
Sneakerhead P. Catch him on
I'm a
Instagram.
I'm a big fan of shoes. The sneaker culture is great. You know, learn a lot of stuff about man, the quality of things, the design, the artwork. My favorite pair of shoes is actually the Jordan 9s.
Okay.
That has been my favorite pair for years. I just like the style of them. I like different colorways of them. It really was one of the first shoes when I kind of started being more open to the sneaker
Right.
game and culture, and just from then, that was back before a lot of hype beast era.
Right.
It
Right.
was the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my favorite shoe. So
What
I
color?
have,
What's your favorite? What color?
My favorite one.
I think I just copped the blue and white ones actually.
Yeah,
That's
they
the one I
did
got.
just drop some. They've been dropping several colorways over the years. One of the favorite one is the classics. You know, the black and
Black
white
and white
ones.
ones. Okay.
Um,
They was in Space Jam.
And yeah, and then I call them the Space Jams because if you go back to the movie, that's when Bugs and all them went to Jordan House and got a
Yeah.
gym bag and had
Right.
the shoes. You know, all
That's the
the
original.
11s made the hype of the movie and the
Yeah.
shoe, the legacy. But the 9s was just something, But
Hey,
yeah.
you know what? That remind me of remember when it was a gang activity and guys were getting killed, people was getting killed over them J's? I think it was like the 14s. Why you think the people was killing over shoes?
Man, same reason they kill over everything. People,
Dang.
supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
People not hustling and grinding on their own to get their own money to provide for themselves.
That's real.
Yeah, you gotta look at it too from an economic perspective. Like the price of shoes has gone up so high. It's like dudes is taking chances out here because they might flip some shoes for $700, $800. You know what I'm saying? So when their families are starving and people gotta eat
Right,
these
right.
days, the culture has has elevated the shoe game to a whole new level. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like it'd be a little different if the shoes was still 100, 200. But these days, the resale value on certain ones is sky high, bro. So it make you take chances like that. But it's sad, man, that our people be doing that, bro. We don't
I'm thinking about the Yeezys. When you talk about, like, what's up with y'all like the Yeezys? Y'all know about them?
I mean, from a fashion perspective, I think, you know, it's a nice looking shoe. I don't own any, though.
Right. But, I heard they was comfortable.
Probably.
Yeah, I heard they was comfortable. Why you think he pushed them so high, though? Like, I be selling $1,200, $1,300 for a pair of Yeezys when most of the kids can't afford.
He could probably speak to it. It's the hype. It's just the demand. It's the demand for stuff that people want. And if it's that high, they gonna pay. You know what I mean? Like you said, $1,200, $1,300 for some Adidas.
Man, we was just at Starbucks. Adidas. No lie, we was just at Starbucks and we seen a guy with Balenciagas on, and I think you told me like they was $1,200 or something, like $1,300. That's the hype, huh?
Designer shoes, designer shoes. That's what's in, bro.
But is it showing you like so in the community? Is that saying I got money or I'm better than you or what you know what I mean? What is it portraying? What do you think it's portraying today?
You know, yeah, in a sense, you know, if you look at it a certain way, yep, it's a symbol of, you know, we got this or we got money. But you know, the reality of it is sometimes that's not always the case. It's just a way that we stunt, a way that we show off and do what we do. You know, you will hope that somebody got some money on the back end if they paying $1,800 for some red bottoms, but that might be their last $1,800. But you know what I'm saying? In this day and age, that might put you over the top. You know what I mean? You might meet somebody, if you looking the part, that might be your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and you know, we gotta look at it from both ways.
Definitely.
But if you got it, cool. You know what I mean? But if you don't be out there buying $1,800 shoes and you can't put no gas in your car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it's always
backwards.
It's always two sides to it all.
Always two sides to it, for sure. What made you get into fashion? And I'm gonna ask you the same.
I don't really know if I don't even know if I can say I got into fashion. You know, but that's just our culture. We just like to dress nice. We care about what we put on when we walk out the house, that kind of thing. But I don't know, man. Growing up in the hood, it's kind of just one of them things that you know you want to have on the nicest shoes, you want to have on the nicest. But two, it's all about how comfortable you are with yourself. Because you could wear some Reeboks, some Filas, you know, some circles they'll look down on you. But if you confident, you rocking it how you rocking it, who gonna say something to you? You know what I mean? I mean, even artists like, I don't know, A$AP Rocky or even Future and them, they got Reebok deals. A$AP Rocky got Under Armour deals. You know what I mean? So not all of them is like really rocking the designer like that.
They giving out deals to artists nowadays. They not, you know.
Yeah, but you know, normally it's like Nike, Adidas. Like these days, you got Pumas, Adidas. They had kind of went away for a while, but you know, now that I don't know, everything is in front of us with social media and the media. Period. You can kind of rock what you want, and if you fly, gotta respect it. Like
you seen, I think Jay-Z signed with Puma or something like that. He signed with Puma. He did, right? So the culture has changed. It used to be just like I said. It used to be the sports. Everybody used to own their shoes. Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson. Hey, that's a question I want to know. What's up? They say LeBron is one of the greatest, right? Why you think his shoes don't sell like Jordan?
P got good perspective on that.
I think personally, like you said, LeBron's a great player. You know, he's changed the game in many ways. You know, just not on the court but off the court. You know, I commend a lot of his work. I don't commend the flopping and the crying he do when he got beat by the Warriors. But you know, his shoes wise, I think because his shoes sell. You know, there's certain ones, just like every shoe. Every shoe sells.
His exclusive sell.
Yeah, his exclusive sell. And you know, Nike does, and his designer team. They do a great job of making them, honestly. But for the everyday use of how the sneaker culture, people wear foams, forces, Dunks, Jordans, Yeezys. Now it's coming, you know, really big in the sneaker game now. Even Chucks, you know, the everyday typical shoe, you wouldn't look at a LeBron shoe, and that's because I know they had designed them to where they were bulky. Where they were more so for hoop. I mean,
but they was wrong with shorts on.
Yeah,
they was wrong with shorts. I think
they a good like straight hoop shoe, like basketball shoe. So that's what I'm saying. Some of his exclusive, more, you know, like rare LeBrons could probably be worn like in a cool way, you know what I'm saying, with some jeans or something like that, but they real bulky and
They
like
are, some of
clunky.
them. Yeah.
But they look nice, you know what I mean, in
Uh-huh.
pictures and on his feet, because he a big dude. Like,
Right.
they look like some cool shoes, but I actually bought some one time and gave them back, bro. And I
Did
don't
you?
never return shoes, yeah, but they were just like so big and heavy when I wore them. That it just didn't sit right with me, but for him they fit like. I mean, I think they look perfect for him. But yeah, it just wouldn't be a shoe that. But people like LeBron fans, they buying that stuff out too.
Yeah,
the rarer ones, because you can still catch some LeBrons on the
name,
shelves.
though. It's not the shoe itself. It's usually
Right,
the name that they're
course.
going on. Just like
Of
the
course.
Yeezys.
But I mean, it's still a good quality product unless you got shoes breaking, like Nike with Zion. But
Right.
you know, it's a good quality shoe. So for the most part, it's a little bit of both. Good,
you think-
good quality, nice looking shoe.
You think people start buying them Nikes because of Zion?
Nah, they probably start buying more of them.
Huh.
To be honest with you, because he bounced back in the
Right.
same, you know what I mean? He just put on a different version of
In
Nike.
this game, yeah, it's
Nice,
impeccable.
yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Nah, that didn't stop nothing.
All right, so the shoes nowadays, I know back in the day they used to be like high top. A lot of them used to be even Chuck
Yeah.
Taylors back in the day.
Yeah.
And now they starting to look like kind of low. They like mids or
a
low.
lot of them are low
Yeah,
tops.
they real, why you
Yeah.
think that? Have you ever? I know we used to hoop, right? We used to all hoop.
Yeah.
Have you ever hooped in like some high tops?
Well, yeah, of course. That's what it used to be.
Right.
We came
So-
into
so
low
what's
tops.
the difference from them? Because when I hooped in high tops, my ankles it was too tight. Like it was too tight. What's the difference for you or for y'all?
I think high tops is now. Oh man, to me, I mean, growing up, high tops is what it was. You know, Chuck Taylors,
Forces.
That's what was in style.
that was
Yeah.
in style. You know, LA Gears, a lot of different things. But now all of a sudden, people want low tops, and that's because it's changed. You got Steph Curry, you got James Harden, Damian Lillard.
It started with. I feel like it started with Kobe's.
Kobe's too. Yeah,
Kobe's kind of
Kobe's
started
changed,
the low top trend.
Iverson had the lowers. Remember?
Well, yeah,
high
Iverson had
threes.
like some mids though. Iverson had like some mids, but I mean when Kobe started dropping those like Venoms and stuff like that, like those was
ugly
like
ones,
real. Those was
the
icy.
yellow
though.
ones, the big bulky, they look like space
No.
space shoes.
I'm talking about
That's
in
when
his
he was
later
with
years
Adidas.
when he was with Nike.
Okay,
The
so-
space boots. The space boots. What's crazy is as a kid I didn't like them, but now that we've come so far and it's
You
like a
would rock 'em?
classic, yeah, I would, bro. Those
Those are classics.
those is icy.
I mean, they classic now, but at the time, I'm like, bro, why you
Yeah,
got
at the time, those were hideous, bro. Like I couldn't imagine wearing
They
those
had
Kobe
them-
space
they had them
boots
like a
Adidas.
pearl white,
Yeah,
yellow,
But like today,
purple,
oh
gray.
yeah, those clean today. They became a classic,
They
but it's
became
like
a
at the
classic.
time you never know what it's
Cause
gonna turn out to
It
be.
became
So,
trendy, you
True.
know, in a fashion sense.
You never know what it's gonna turn out to be.
Yeah.
But now I would rock them space boots
Yeah.
all day, every
Would
day.
you? Oh,
Yeah.
nah.
Kobe went from them
I've been big
to,
on
to
Nike.
the Crazy Eight.
You talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
fashion, bro? If you into fashion, you gotta be like open minded.
You gotta be- and that's my problem.
So imagine
That's
if
my
you had
problem.
like a stylist. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? And
but
they
my-
would
if
make
they
suggestions
sponsoring me,
for you. But it's really like just making suggestions on how they see your look should be. So
Right,
it's
right,
like
right.
if they see
From
like
the outside looking in.
this is an icy fit with some Adidas Kobe space boots,
Yeah.
you wouldn't rock it?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm just saying, if you're an artist and it's just one day in the day in life of Double D, you couldn't rock no Adidas?
I mean, I would probably have to.
Shell toes? What about some shell
It
toes?
depends on if the money was on
What
the
about
line
some
for
shell
it.
toes?
Some shell. I don't really.
Toes is
I'm
classic,
just
man.
big on Nike and I'm big on Jordan. You know what I mean?
But that's your box. That's the
my,
only.
and that's my problem, right?
What
That's
about
my
okay,
box.
but some designer shoes?
Because
But you
they're
would put on some
They're
Gucci shoes
comfortable.
though.
Yeah, I wear some Gucci's. I like
so
Gucci.
Nike, Adidas, and designer.
No,
What?
I know somebody they having a Converse party, and
I'm
I'm
still rocking Gucci after they
I damn near
blackface.
can't. I damn near can't go to the
You
to
can't
the
go
party
because you gotta wear Chucks.
Cause I gotta wear Converse, Chucks,
Well,
whatever.
you know Converse
I mean,
and Nike
Chucks is
is
like the
under
most-
the same brand.
Right, that is true.
Yeah, but they don't have a check on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Don't stay in that
it
box.
don't
Don't
have
be
to
in that
check
box
on it.
like that, bro. That's you gotta wear
I
some
know,
shells
right?
sometimes.
And that's the thing with fashion, cause you gotta.
Did you
be-
ever own some K Swiss?
No. And
Even
I was
back
gonna
in the
touch.
day?
I was gonna touch bases on that. Nowadays, I've been seeing people rock Fila's and K Swiss again.
That's what I'm
Would
saying.
you go back into that?
Let me educate
Yeah,
you.
educate me, man, 'cause I need some
tell him-
education
You
on
talking
it.
Tell him,
about,
P.
you
Enlighten
talking
me.
about K-Swiss
Tell him, P.
and all the brands that are not as popular now in our
Word.
in the pop culture and
Yeah.
the hip hop culture, but a lot of them shoes were big things for especially less fortunate. You know,
Right.
I mean, you grow up in the hood where we grew up. You know, fortunately, you know, we made it out, but we didn't have the big name brands, and you know, we had single family homes. Just
that's another good example
stuff,
of us making stuff hot too, though. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It's like we didn't have a lot growing up, but we made it hot.
So you made it come together.
It's
you
like
didn't
we
even know
made
you
some
had
K-Swiss with some khakis look
Right.
icy. You know what I'm saying? Like we made it
a
because
lot
you
of
had
different
to.
cultures and you know ethnic groups make some of these shoes look hot. You know, it's not just the African American community.
True.
You know,
True.
everyone copies each other's style somehow, some way. You know, we learn a little bit from everybody.
It was a time when people, I remember middle school, we went to Chipman. We went to Chipman Middle School in Alameda. Everybody and their mama had Sauconys, bro. And I couldn't rock the Sauconys, bro. They put the rubber band on the pants, and bro, you rock Saucony.
Yeah, Sauconys is still hot.
Yeah.
They actually just dropped a pair of Sauconys I just shared with y'all about a month ago. I seen they were like avocados.
Okay.
Something about the avocado colorway. They actually were dope.
It's regional too.
And it's regional based on your region. Like we in California, we in the Bay Area. I mean, we got a lot of different swag. You know,
but like New Balance, like people in different regions of the country feel like New Balances are really nice. I think they're nice too, but I just haven't owned a pair ever. But you know, that Sauconys, I think Sauconys is still hot in like the East Coast too, right?
Yeah, East Coast. Yeah. Like Forces, Nike boots, foams, all that's on the East Coast, New York, the DMV area. That's still
like
New Balances, right?
New Balances. And that's because a lot of them shoes are made for that type of weather too, because it's cold. You know,
like Tim's for the for like
but
the East
even
Coast.
Timberland is not. You know, they're not a sneaker; they're a boot.
They're a boot.
You know, like work boots.
But cats wear.
But they've made
Tim's
them.
with
New
everything.
York cats have made them popular. You know, and they had a big thing about the owner of Timberland, you know, saying he don't want, you know, African Americans wearing his product.
Right.
But yet we market stuff for them, not for them because we're not getting paid.
You see it in videos,
we see it in
movies,
exactly,
everywhere. That's so true. That's so true.
You know, it's just about how you feel though. I mean, at the end of the day, we in America, we gotta clothe ourselves, we gotta put food on our table.
Right.
Dress a certain way, you know.
Why do we gotta dress a certain way though? I'm glad you said that.
I wouldn't say we have to. We choose to.
We choose to.
But I mean, it's growing up. It's the perspective on
your background.
It's no excuse though. I will say.
Because I remember when we was wearing when we used to have to wear Pro Wings, right? And people would pick on you because you had Pro Wings, but that's all you could afford. And now, like little kids, right now, even to this day, they get bullied that they can't have the flyest shoes. You know what I mean? The Jordans or whatever, the Timberlands or even like what's popular right now? The Vans. Vans are popping. I used to make fun of Vans. Like I can't wear no Vans.
Skateboard shoes.
I don't skateboard, right? Yeah. But now it's like that's trendy. That's what's in the trend. You know
I was
what I mean?
in that same boat. I used to not like Vans a lot.
Yeah, really.
But now I think they hot. Yeah.
They cool.
It's what's trendy, man. It's what's hot. That's kind of how fashion works, though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it kind of go with the trends. Stuff that used to be hot. Things come full circle and then it gets hot again, but in our own little way, we twist it up and make it. How did the little fanny packs come back? How did we turned it into a shoulder bag?
Fanny pack.
We turned the fanny pack into a shoulder bag and made it hot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like stuff go full circle, come back around, and then it's
How
hot.
you feel about
it's hot
that?
again.
With men wearing fanny packs, like is that a problem? I don't feel like it's a problem at all. But some people say men shouldn't do certain things, right? We just had this conversation about men shouldn't put makeup or whatever.
That's another box. We should be able to do whatever we want to do, man. If it's some stereotypical stuff around it, like if you don't fit that stereotype, us as black people, you know what I'm saying? We defeat stereotypes all the time. So wear a bag if you like a bag. If it's hot, if it go with your outfit or that's the little accessory that's spicing the outfit up, man, by all means. As long as you comfortable with yourself and you don't read into all of that extra stuff, man, you cool.
Yourself.
You all the
How
way
long
cool.
you think that's gonna last?
With it at all.
How long you think that trend gonna last? Cause
I'm no expert.
I'm
no expert, but stuff probably lasts about a good 2 years, maybe.
2 years,
2 or 3 years before some come and go. You know what I'm saying? So it'll go back out of style, but for now, it's gonna be there for a while.
Something else gonna be hot.
Yeah,
that's just like life. I mean, politics or a news story, whatever.
Yeah.
One of the things,
music,
one thing that stood out to me was like the artists and the rappers wearing the ankle bracelets. You feel me?
They wear-
Like they'll have like
never
a
seen
they'll
that.
have like a iced out bracelet,
Yeah.
On
but
the
they'll put it on their
ankle?
ankle, on
Nah.
everything.
I just
Seriously.
had it
Seriously.
on.
Oh, dude.
And that's
had it
like,
on.
you know what I mean? But it's
It was
crazy.
trendy, though.
It's crazy because
They
every
talking
time
about ankle
something
bracelet and
new,
rappers, man.
every
What?
time something new comes up, we look at it crazy when it first comes, right? And then
Yeah.
after time, we get brainwashed to like see that, and we
But
see
that's
that
just-
people like it, and then
Yeah.
we join the wave. We ride the wave. And
But
the
that's
trend.
like, see, I'm against that. Only because it's fellas, it's rappers right now that's wearing dresses. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, because that's what everybody else is doing. That's the trend. That's what look hot. But that still takes away from your morals and your values and what you believe. You know what I mean? Like,
It depends
it's
on how
not
you
even-
see it, though, bro.
Huh?
It depends on how you see it.
So you mean to tell me you gonna get up?
No, I'm
on
not saying
stage?
I'm agreeing with you. I
Yeah.
never said that.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
said I agree with
Right.
wearing dresses, but I'm just saying that's another one of them things. Like,
If you're comfortable with
it's
yourself.
a box, bro. Yeah, like if you comfortable and you feel like you want to put on a kilt
skirt.
or a dress or a skirt,
As a
hey,
man, it's cool.
hey,
Good.
hey.
Why
And what's
not?
crazy, women, you know, but
Yeah.
it's. I
'Cause
think
women
it's
was
more of
talking
like
smack
they
about
like the fact that you comfortable with yourself versus
Right.
you actually wearing a dress or a
Self
skirt.
confidence is
It's like
everything.
that dude right there don't care. He could be wearing a skirt
Right.
and still feel like he fly
And
and
still the
still
man.
feel like the man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that part about it, I think is commendable in that sense. But like me, you know,
Yeah,
I'm not
right,
a
right, right.
like Like if I was
Right.
like that's cool, I probably wouldn't
Cause
say
I
that's
seen Diddy,
cool.
I seen Diddy on
But
stage.
it's cool.
Thug,
I
you know what I mean? Young
in that
Thug.
way. Yeah, I mean, but you know, certain
Yeah.
people do they, you
They
know,
do their
Dennis
thing.
Rodman,
Right, Dennis
Young
Rodman.
Thug, those kind of people.
Yeah,
they,
yeah. And I mean, to each his own, right? To each his own. We're not to judge or anything. So it's, I mean, that's your fashion, that's your style. I'm just bringing up how everybody have their own style and their own fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you had a child, you know what I mean, would you let your son go to school with you know what
Nah,
I mean?
because I feel like at a young age, you still finding yourself.
Still finding
But as
yourself.
a
Finding
grown
yourself.
man, once you feel like you kind of know who you are, again, and you comfortable with yourself, and you
Right.
comfortable with doing, you know, random stuff, that don't take away from like your manhood or like
Right.
your manliness. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Even
yeah.
if you, Cameron started wearing pink for a
So-
long
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Dudes
real
didn't
man wear pink.
You know
Real
what I'm
man
saying?
wear
So it's
pink.
like
Yeah.
that's just a box somebody tell you, dudes not supposed to wear pink.
Right.
Says who?
That's so true.
But anyway, what else we got?
No, that's
What
real
else we
though.
got?
That's real.
Yeah.
Hey man, I love the topic that we're talking about. I wanted to touch on like the Jordans, right? Because if you notice, every Jordan that's been out is coming back out, and now they just selling them for probably like it used to be like $125, now like $300. How y'all feel about that? And do you think that's smart? Of course, it's smart, right? It's supply and demand. But do you think that's greedy in
What
the
is?
sense of Michael Jordan
So you saying
selling these
the
shoes?
dude, they retroing Jordans and they're retroing more often now.
Mm-hmm.
But and of course the price goes up because
Right.
it's different materials being made. I mean, cost of living's going up. I mean, just everything about life.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, they retailing them. They high, but they still not crazy retail like
Yeah.
a high designer end.
Yeah,
But,
man.
I mean, we gonna buy it because Jordan, whether shoes, fat, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
Jordan in particular has made a big impact on all cultures.
Right.
He's a basketball legend.
Mm-hmm. One of the
His
niggas,
shoes,
great.
his
He the
shoes are
best.
great to play in,
Right.
to wear. You can style. So and they know people gonna buy them. You know.
Mhm. True.
So now I look at it as, I mean, the retail is going higher from when we was 10, 15 years ago. You still can go in the store and get them at what 100, 125. But now 190, 220 retail.
True.
And it's like, but the resale on them, if you miss out on them, if somebody gonna pay extra 100. If you can pay extra 100 and get it for sure, would you do it? If you really
Yeah.
want this,
If you
whether
really
it's
want
for you,
it.
your kids,
Right.
it's crazy. But
It is.
sometimes we gonna do what we gonna do. We gonna spend. We take money to make money.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not been creative anymore because these shoes probably been up 10 times. You know what I mean? And I mean, they may talk about me because I wanted them. I bought them. But like, how many times are they gonna keep recreating the same shoe?
As many times as people
For
gonna buy
as
it.
many and that's
As many
what's gonna
times
happen.
people gonna
And
buy. But that's the
the
thing. It's like
generation-
when I'm sure when the designer sat down and started designing these shoes, they didn't think they was gonna be this iconic and last so long. You know what I mean? But it's like us as the people make the product sort of what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we name a certain album a classic. We name this shoe a must have. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, it's like they only making so many pairs. So if they ever happen to go around, even if it's 10 years later, you know what I mean? They haven't gone out of style ever.
Right.
And it's like if that shoe came back around and you missed it the first time, man, it's just an opportunity to get it again.
We didn't
That's kind of
consumers.
the culture of the shoe. We are.
We are.
As a people, man, we got bad money habits, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Nah, that's a good conversation. Like
bad money habits.
That's so true, bro. Because I feel like we gotta stunt on, I guess, the next person, which is our culture. You know what I mean? Like I got this, I got the Gucci belt.
We got bad
I
habits.
got, you know what I mean? Like, why you think that is? I mean, is it brainwash? Is it brainwashing to us to compete like that and feel like I'm better than you because I?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it started a long time ago, and we kind of, you know what I
Let's
mean?
keep it
We
going.
evolved, but some of the same stuff is still happening.
Yeah.
It's still.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
No, y'all good.
But
I
we
like that.
can, like you said, we competing as a people, as a culture, and you know, a lot of with these high end designers, even other designers have been, you know, doing racially profiled, you know, messages on their clothing or their products.
Right, the monkey and H&M.
Yeah, the monkey, H&M, Gucci. Was it Gucci,
Gucci
recently,
with the,
and another brand. But
pocket though.
I mean, it's messed up. It's sad. It's unfortunate. People not gonna stop buying it
Not at all.
they still making money no
Not
matter
at
how
all.
much we rent. And you know, from a personal perspective, we feel some type of way.
Right.
It like you said, the trend. It's like a trend. It'll die down.
Right. Then
They
pick back
Gucci
up.
drop a new hat, a new shirt, something.
Right.
Somebody gonna get
Somebody
it.
gonna copy it.
But you know, then we got black owned businesses.
Yeah.
People don't want to support.
People don't support.
And they not charging like that. But you know, like Fashion Nova then took off. Like,
yeah, everybody on their Instagram.
from what
got
I'm
Fashion
learning,
Nova.
I've learned, Fashion
It's
Nova.
like the new H&M.
They
It
got a
is,
whole
though, for
store.
sure.
I didn't even know they got a whole store in L.A.
Really?
And now it's a big online store, you know? They got that one store in L.A.,
Yeah.
but
And
they
now online.
nationally, worldwide, online.
Because of
Fashion
people.
Nova took
And,
all.
took
Yeah,
off.
it's
And now they
true.
selling men. I thought it, I mean, of course
All
it was
women.
just
I used to
women.
always see just women.
Just
yeah.
like H&M, Forever 21, I look at them as women's stores.
But I like
Now
them
I
because they're
see.
not so expensive neither, right?
Expensive. I mean, that's one thing. Yeah,
Right.
they not expensive.
And they fashionable.
But at the end of the day, we got people in other countries ain't got nothing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we making money.
Don't got water.
And
You know
don't
what I
got
mean?
water.
Yeah.
And even in our own country.
Right.
Flint,
Flint,
we ain't
Michigan.
got no water.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
right here.
But I
Right
bet outside of Flint and Detroit they got them Cartier, the glasses, and all
Bucks
the new
on.
J's. And what's the shoes and what's the shoes out there?
Who?
The alligator shoes they be wearing, Pradas. A lot of people.
Pradas.
Yeah. So we all went to HBCUs as I touched. I went to Central State University in Ohio. What college did you go to?
Grambling State University.
About you?
Virginia State University.
Yeah, all right, for sure. What do you think the culture was like when you was in college, and what has changed?
Go ahead, pick out.
Ah, man. So repeat that again. You said
So
the culture?
what was the what was the culture of fashion? What was the, because I know HBCUs is one thing, but we
Man.
all from different areas, right?
Yeah,
I'm from
right.
Cali, from
Yeah.
Cali, but we knew cats from New York, we knew cats from Atlanta, Virginia. So what was it like?
I mean, for me, being like you said, it's at an HBCU. It's historically black colleges, so it's actually a diversity within our own culture.
Mm-hmm.
So we, like you said,
That's
we
a good
meeting
way to
cats.
put it.
We
That
meeting
is.
cats from everywhere.
That is.
We coming from California, going all the way to the Midwest, to the
Mhm.
South, to the East Coast. Then we meeting people that's from deep in the country, meeting people from New York,
Right.
Atlanta. All these places.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
Yeah.
you get a taste. It's just like soul food and
Put everything in the
different food,
pot.
like at a buffet.
Right.
Right? But it's all your own thing. But
Yeah.
I think the culture, even of fashion, one, we college, we broke, we ain't think about fashion.
Right,
A lot of us not
A lot
thinking
of-
about fashion.
Bruh,
you
oodles
know?
and noodles.
Hey,
man.
I still think
Let's
about
be
how we
real.
did what we did.
Ain't
bro.
nobody
Sure.
like
Like
thinking
that.
about
About the
fashion
refund
like
checks.
that.
That's it.
If you was
So-
getting them.
That's
Yeah,
it.
we not thinking about too much fashion,
Right.
At the most, we borrowing roommates' clothes.
Yeah,
We we got whatever we came down there with.
true.
We gonna sit out there for 4 years
Right.
with.
We made it
and make
work.
it work.
Made it work.
Made it
Made it work.
You know,
For real.
might try to get a free hoodie from the bookstore or something.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
somehow finesse it.
we
But
made
the
it work
culture,
for
even the
sure.
fashion culture, to me, being even at HBCU, it's a lot of rich history in it. A lot of generations of families and students that have gone there. You know, I remember, I ain't gonna get me wrong, like, being from California is one thing, but I'm meeting people from New York, a fashion state, you know?
Right.
They got all kind of different fashions. So
True.
to me, personally, I mean, the trend was, you know, that was some years ago, so we still was baggy jeans and we was white teeing it out,
For
you
sure.
know?
For
In the
sure.
summer, it's hot, you know? In the winter,
Yeah.
it's cold.
It's cold.
So,
Real
man,
cold.
but you like you
Real
said,
super
we in
cold.
college, we young, we not our whole point of being there is get our education, right? Have fun, enjoy
Yeah.
it, build relationship, network. But you know, you're not really thinking about all that, you know, because the same people, you know, you might have some Jordans.
Right.
And your roommate might not.
Can't
you know,
afford
he just
them or
got
something.
some regular Nikes or whatever
Right.
it is. Not saying it's a big difference. You know,
Yeah.
they both do the same thing. You gonna put them on the same, and you gonna walk out the door, walk to class.
Right.
And then a lot of the culture, I mean, think about it, a lot of classes I had 2-3 days a week. I had to be in a shirt and tie.
Right.
You know? So I wasn't really thinking about that. You know, that was 8 hours out the day, if not more.
Right. True.
So I'm in one outfit for the whole day.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I mean it's different.
What would you say?
Like you said.
What would you say was the flyest city, like in the style that they wore from wherever your college was? Like, I know for me,
That's a hard
I
question.
know for me, cats from Detroit, they used to come spiffy. You know what I mean? They used to, like I said, the Cartiers. They had the Gator shoes. I'm like, what's the Pradas or whatever? And you know, we from Cali, so I'm wearing Jabot jeans and J's or whatever.
Some bows
Yeah, Jabot jeans, remember the Jabot?
White tee.
Got some bows on.
Some red monkey
Yeah.
jeans. You know, I see the
Yeah.
trend change, right?
Right.
So what would you say was the flyest, the city? You know what I mean? Or
Man,
state?
that's a good question. It's tough because you be in the South, so you be in like a whole nother
You got a
culture. So
whole-
what's hot, I don't know, it's like different as a whole. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because in the South, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere in Louisiana, because that's where Grambling is, you know what I mean? They have their own style. I mean, of course, people from different, like we had a lot of people from Texas, Mississippi, Chicago.
Right. Chi-town.
It might be
Chi-town.
Chicago just because they go so hard though. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they really put on. But you know, it was a few people from California. They definitely dressed and looked like they was from California.
Cali.
But I don't know. It's hard to say like who was the flyest.
Yeah.
Everybody was fly in their
Everybody was
own,
fly in
in
that
their
era.
own special way. You know what I'm saying? So
People wear Coogee.
Coogee.
ain't never went out of style though.
Coogee ain't never.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's why it's
Coogee-
tough.
I don't really see cats in
is
Cali
black
wearing
on.
Coogee.
No, I mean we
I don't
don't.
see- yeah,
but
I
East
don't-
Coast and like
Yeah.
Midwest,
Yeah.
there's different places where Coogie's still hot.
And Polo, so Polo, like
Polo's
when I went to the mill, when I went to
Polo
Ohio,
crazy hot
Polo
in the
was
South
everything.
still.
You know what
It's
I mean?
still, you can never
Be
go
things
wrong with
like
Polo,
head to
like
the toe.
anywhere. But in the South, they still like make sure they go out their way to like get some
Yeah.
Polo boots or
When I
something.
came back out here though, when I came back from school, they basically said Polo was the generic Gucci. So if you couldn't afford Gucci, you will rock Polo. What do
Is that
y'all
what they
think?
said in
That's
Ohio?
what they was. That's what they was telling me in Cali when I came. Because I
Oh.
came with, I came with so much Polo, and they was like, bro, that's the.
They said
that's
that
the
in
gen-"
California?
Yeah.
I've
Somebody
never
told me
heard
that was
that.
a
I've
generic.
never heard that before.
And I'm like, what, bro? Never heard me neither. That was
Yeah,
something new to
nah.
me. You feel me? Like that's crazy. But he was trying to
I've
downplay
never
me.
heard
So,
that before.
so it's the difference between Polo and USDA. All right, US. What is that?
Yeah.
USPA.
USPA. So if you see
That's
a
like
cat
the
right,
sport. The sport.
see how we laughing though?
We laughing because
That's the truth.
Because
Yeah.
we see it. You know, it's still sold. People
Right,
still
right.
buying it.
Yeah,
and if it's, I'm not sure the statistics or whatever, but if it's still under Polo as a brand,
You can
they
rock it.
still making money.
RL
Even
Polo.
if they selling it
They got a whole
at
store at the outlets
non-expensive
and
store,
stuff like
you
know?
that. So,
And you know what's crazy? USPA Polo been out longer than Ralph Lauren. People don't even know that, the history of it.
That's a
But
fun fact.
Yeah, but if you see somebody rocking it, you gonna treat them a little different from if they was rocking Ralph
I
Lauren.
feel like
Ralph
these days
Lauren.
we ain't on that like treating people different. I mean,
We
it's-
old now. We OGs.
Yeah, it's
but
what they like to
it's on the
side eye
youngsters.
somebody, but these days we ain't
We don't
tripping
care
off that
about
kind of
that.
stuff. The
Yeah.
kids do, but that's what kids do though. It's like the competitive nature of us human beings. You know what
But
I'm
it's
saying?
passed down. because
is.
it's
It
passed
is.
down from us, right?
It is.
Because who said?
But it's our. I
USPA
think
is
it's
not
our
hot
culture.
as-
It's our culture. Sort of like I might even go even deeper, like as Americans, though. You know what I'm saying? Because people in other countries
They
don't
don't
put the
care.
value of
No.
shoes and clothes and stuff up high like we
Right,
do. So it
right.
might be just like. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
reaching,
yeah.
but it's like
For
for
sure.
the most part, like this stuff
Nah,
is
that's
an
good.
American kind of culture thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Forget racial, but like American
America.
culture,
Mhm.
we want to have the best shoes. We want to do. Maybe in Europe because they
we
do
the
a lot of
richest,
that's
though.
like the fashion,
Right. You're,
you know, of the
sure.
world. But you know, in most countries, bro, we got it good compared to a lot of countries.
got
So
it-
in other
we got it
countries,
real
man,
good.
shoes and clothes, as long as they got some shoes and clothes
They
on,
happy.
they good.
They
You could be.
happy.
And then being fly, like maybe that concept isn't even like a thing
Right.
in certain countries and places in the world. Like, what is fly? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
what
Like,
is
what
that?
is
What
that?
is
They
the
don't.
trend?
They
Yeah,
don't
they don't
care
care
about all
about
of
none
that
of that.
stuff. So that's another way to look at it. But
That is,
that's
though.
definitely
For
a
sure.
bigger perspective than just
Yeah.
America. Because in other countries, it's about education or it's about working, and their culture is what's more important. Like who got a better job or something.
Right,
you know what I'm
right. They
saying? It's
compete on
like
that level.
it's on a higher totem pole than what
Everything's
we put
competitive.
stuff on. Right. So
For sure.
that's another way to look at it for sure.
That's good.
Man.
What is the style now? What's in? What's the in? You know what I mean? What's trending? And if you notice, a lot of what's trending is coming from the kids.
That's how
Like,
Of course, that's how.
It's coming
That's how
from,
it
you know what I
goes.
mean? It's coming. It's
I feel like it originates from like artists, like entertainers, whether it be
Entertainers.
music, sports, whatever the case may be. But then it funnels down to the youth because they're the most susceptible to like buying into what that
What's hot.
what's on TV
To
and
be
what's
popular.
popular and what's trendy versus like as you get older and you realize what's more important. You know what I'm saying? It's like to even care about certain stuff that they care about, right? Like we ain't got time for that.
That's
So,
taken away from their self-esteem though when they can't. When
it
they can't
is. That's
have
what I'm
it,
saying.
right?
It's a systemic thing that the
For sure.
kids go through and are exposed to. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you're a kid, like Michael Jordan is the most important thing because you ain't got nothing else to worry about. You know what I'm
Nothing
saying?
else
I mean,
to
other
worry-
than like
no
kids who
bills and
do
nothing
grow
to
up
build,
with
yeah.
real problems. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Not to discount that
True.
those kind of situations, but like if you grow up and your mom got a roof over your head, you got some kind of clothes and shoes on your feet. You know what I'm
True.
saying? That's what matters.
Yeah.
Then you're not really, Michael Jordan is what matters. Is what I'm
Right,
saying.
right.
So that's all you worried about as an adult. You might have some kids. People really put, their job, and some people be stressed out over work.
Right.
It's other stuff that becomes more important as an adult. But as a kid, yeah, they feed into all of that. The media does not let up. You know what I'm saying? They like
The
pumping
media gonna
it,
keep
pumping it.
going.
Yeah,
Generation
they gonna
now.
Social
pump it into
media,
your
huh?
head. Social media phones is
Social
even
media
worse than
bullying.
TVs. It's like you got a
Everything is
TV.
accessible at the palm of your hand.
Yeah,
Oh,
information
yeah.
is just flying. You know what I mean?
So
You
you
get
can
information so quick.
Like you said, a kid in another country might pull up and see what somebody doing in Mississippi or
Right.
California, wherever
Yeah.
and
But
we
that too
looking at the
kinda-
same,
That too kind of set like a stage for like what's hot though and what's
What's
fly
hot.
because now we can see it on our phone. Yeah, then maybe
Yeah.
you know what I mean. If like New Balance or something is hot on the East Coast, but you on Instagram and you seeing some stuff and you know what I mean. It's an outfit and you like those is dope.
Those
You
are
wear
dope.
it, you might have some influence over some people. Now other people wearing New Balance and then
from a
it
different
becomes
era.
just because you know what I mean. It's like you see it on your phone instead of like having to like go there and see it physically.
True.
Now some of this stuff is kind of more global and because Yeezys and stuff they get bought overseas and,
Yeah.
and
Yeezys are
everything.
big
You know what I
overseas,
mean?
yeah.
So
you
like
go overseas and they sell them for high,
Yeah.
or they got Nike and Jordan and all these other brands got stores in other countries.
Yeah, but they make them, like say in China, they make them for nothing.
what else we got, bro? Because we've been talking about
Yeah.
Shoes.
fashion and shoes.
We
For the
talking
whole,
about-
for the whole
Fashion
thing.
We could talk about whatever for real. I
What you
mean,
got on there?
I was asking what the style. Y'all still need to tell me what the style was for the day.
Man, the style is what you make it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't look at everybody doing. I know one thing. Of course, like biker denim jeans. I'm seeing that more opposed to like
Oh, the jean jackets.
Nah,
No.
like
What?
Jeans, like your
the
pants.
pants?
jeans.
But like the biker denim, like the
nah,
ripped
I'm
jeans, the
Yeah.
biker
Okay,
denim
okay,
with the
yeah,
like
yeah,
rough
yeah.
patches and stuff on it like that.
Not
Like
saying
that's
like
that's in.
Uh-huh.
Skinnier
I mean,
jeans, less
yeah,
baggier
opposed
jeans
to
are in.
wearing
Right.
baggy
Or,
stuff.
but it's like little stuff, like accessories, like the little fanny pack. That's a
accessories.
I
that's
see
a
a lot of-
bag. I think denim jackets are like hot, but that kind of is one of them things that never goes out of style either.
Uh-huh.
Though. You know what I mean? Like at one point, I feel like bombers was hot, or varsity jacket style jackets was hot.
J. Cole was big on that.
Right, but it's at the same time, it's like, bro, no matter how you wear it in what decade, it's still gonna be fly as long as you know what I mean,
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it together in the right way. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fashion guru. I don't know what the state
neither,
of fashion
yeah.
is right now, so I don't
You
even know.
gonna get up and wear what you gotta wear. Some
Yeah.
people might not have a style because their style might be
Yeah.
suit and tie,
Right.
24/7. A lot of jobs, and like you say, demographically, a lot of different parts of the United States, people in blue collar jobs, you know, they
Right.
suit and tie every day. You know?
True.
So,
So I want
fashion is
So-
it's broad. That's a broad.
Employers,
It is broad. We
It's
can
a
talk about it.
broad,
Oh, that's why we
yes.
talking about it for so
And
long.
we only know so much. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
so
If you
much to
start
learn
talking
from
about
it.
like
You can
European
learn.
suits and stuff like that, like it's
Right.
something that's hot
Exactly.
in that realm of fashion too. But I would, I
We
would
could
have
be the
no
ones to
clue.
change and start wearing European suits and change the culture. You
We
know
could.
what I mean?
We
Um,
could.
Who are your hottest artists and who's your least favorite artist? Hip hop.
Well, my favorite artist is probably J. Cole.
J. Cole.
That's probably like
Why's
my
that?
number one. I don't know. I just like his content. I kind of followed him since he started in college. Real relatable. You know what I mean? Like very relatable. He not into all of the extras. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie and sit here and act like I don't listen to music that's with all of the extras.
Right.
But when it comes down to like who I could like, you know what I mean? My thing is like if music stopped, who would I probably like listen to if I could only listen to a few artists, and he would be like one of them. You know what I'm saying? So I like Cole. Shout out to Double D 5500.
For sure.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Tap
For sure.
in,
Tap
tap
in,
in.
man.
Double D
For sure.
5500. But yeah, and then I don't know. The rappers I like the least. I don't know. It's just like probably like not catchy, repetitive music for me. You know what I'm saying?
Some
It's like
mumble rappers.
not really, cause some mumble rap actually like sounds good, and I'm the person that'll take the time out to actually like read the lyrics to stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I can't make out what you're saying on here, if it sounds good, then I'm gonna go read the lyrics and make sure that it sounds good and you actually saying something behind it. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you got a song and you break the whole song up into a 16, you know what I'm saying? Then you saying a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again. And there's some songs that's 2 minutes long that's hot.
Yeah,
but it's like, how much can you put into 2 minutes? You know what I mean? Not to say that you can't, because you can put a lot of content into 2 minutes. But what I'm saying is the rappers that I don't follow are the ones that's kind of like, you know, over and over and over again. So that's why I like Cole music. I respect your music. You know what I'm saying? Because it's coming from a place of like, I really lived this. I could kind of feel that you did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it has substance. It has context. And it's good content. At, you know, at the same. So that's why I rock with it.
What about Kendrick?
Kendrick, of course. Kendrick, of course. Yeah. Like I feel like the top 3 rappers, if I had to choose, would probably be like interchangeable too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know who they are right now, but it's probably between Cole, Kendrick, and somebody else, to be honest.
Right.
But it's like if I had to like put their music on repeat, it's so deep that you could like listen to it over and over again. Probably catch some stuff years later that you didn't hear. It's a lot of times that you hear that with Cole and Kendrick. Yeah. And you know, rappers like that I can appreciate, because it's like you see their evolution too. Right. Some rappers is just like they on their third album and they still kind of talking about the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? So a rapper's evolution as well has a lot to do with how I see their music and actually pay attention and listen to it. What about you, P?
What about you, P?
Man, Cole has grown to be one of my top favorite rappers. He definitely, like he was saying, I followed Cole when I was in college. You know, and I looked at his background of, you know, coming from, you know, Fayetteville, you know, going to St. John's and.
Shout out J. Cole.
I gotta figure out how to work this live though.
Yeah.
He you know, I look at him, he was a hooper. And
Yep.
That was inspirational, because I was an athlete, you know, I love
right.
You know, I love music. He tied both of them together, you know. Thinking about like how 2 Chainz just made rapper go to the league.
I don't know how to work.
You know?
2 Chainz hot.
2 Chainz, yeah, he been hot.
But can you put him on the same, I want to say pedestal or level as J. Cole? And
not personally, but it's some people I'm sure that got 2 Chainz high on their list versus J. Cole. Like J. Cole, they don't really mess with 2 Chainz. They think it's like top 3 in their eyes, but you gotta respect it, because it's all about how you feel about it, how the music make you feel. So if 2 Chainz music is making you feel like
a lot of rappers,
then that's
I brought up 2 Chainz because 2 Chainz graduated college.
Yeah.
right? J. Cole also,
did
right?
too,
And it's
yeah.
kind of like, but what they talk
So,
about
two
is
different lifestyles.
two different
Yeah.
lifestyles, and the like I would say J. Cole got a lot of following from college kids. I mean, not saying 2 Chainz don't, but more so college, kids really gravitate to J. Cole than they do 2
Because his
Chainz.
message is different.
His message is
The
different.
message is
The
different.
flow
But
is
then
different.
too, that's what I'm saying. If you keep it all in perspective, like 2 Chainz does have a lot of songs that kind of carry the same
Yeah.
message. It's just the delivery
The
is
delivery.
different. You know what I'm saying? Who to say
Beats,
if you cussing in a whole song, that's not a positive song. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I know
Right.
those are kind of looked at as negative words, but
Yeah.
like if the message is positive, like
It's the message
so 2
behind
Chainz
it.
can talk about some trap and guns and
Right.
drugs
Yeah,
and you know what I'm
what he
saying. A lot of
talking
times
about.
rappers talk about they raps as dope. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
They make
Exactly.
that
Selling
analogy
it.
in rap. You feel me? So it's like 2 Chainz is just
Absolutely.
a delivery. They still got the same impact if you know what I mean. If you look at it from like an individual standpoint and how they make people feel about listening to their music, like I said. So
Jay-Z one of the hottest, I'll say, right?
yeah.
But growing up, I really messed with Eminem. I didn't really like Jay-Z music until I actually
Me too.
graduated
Yeah,
college.
you
you know
was
Me
what I
too,
mean?
actually.
Eminem
I was
fan.
big on Eminem.
Yeah, me
Me and my
too.
daughter was driving yesterday, and Eminem was just, I'm Slim Shady, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
rapping it.
I didn't really get into Jay-Z until like college, to be completely
Me-
honest with the
man.
whole world. Like I really get put on till I start listening to like more lyrical rap.
Mm-hmm.
But Eminem was so like iconic at the time. It was like it
He's
was hard to
animated, too.
yeah, it was hard to like he was always in the media. He was always
Right.
more than Jay-Z at least. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
it's like I tuned in to him more than I did Jay-Z. But you know, over time.
But
you tap in.
but do you see where Jay-Z is now and Eminem is? Why do you think that is? Is it because of the business behind it, or
I think
know
it's a choice.
it's a choice?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think like
it's a
Eminem
choice.
chooses to be more behind the scenes and not
Yeah.
really in the media like that.
Uh-huh.
Probably because of it, he's not making as much money as Jay-Z.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
He's
Eminem is
good.
a millionaire.
He's good,
I don't
right?
know. I'm like, I don't
He's never
know
gonna not be
when
good,
when
yeah.
enough is enough. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
Knowing
Jay-Z,
your upbringing,
Yeah.
he came from where? A trailer
Humble
park.
beginnings.
And,
Humble beginnings for sure.
You know, a lot of people grow, but like we said, we live, like we talk about fashion. Black folks live outside their means. You know?
For
Like, we
sure.
don't need all this,
Yeah.
but we got it because we feel like we're keeping up with the trend.
Man.
But
trendy.
like you said, we got a roof over our head, food on our table. You know?
For sure.
That's
but from
what
a
matters.
but from
but
a
at the
business
same time,
perspective,
yeah,
why you
business
feel like
yeah.
Jay-Z is doing more
Yeah,
when he
that's
doesn't
what I'm
have
saying.
to
Yeah, he-
versus him is just
'cause he-
chilling and probably producing
he
on
wants-
getting
Yeah.
some credits and
Yeah.
that's it.
Because
He
he
want
even
to
owned a
leave a
basketball
legacy, and he
team.
wants to leave a. You gotta have something to stand on. Cause
Right.
look at he's changing the narrative and the perspective on stuff because we look at like big white European billionaires, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that
How
might
many-
make
how
sense. So
many
Jay Z,
black ones?
you know,
Yeah.
is painting that picture of like
He's
a,
painting that
a
picture,
successful black businessman
giving
to the
Businessman.
kids. You
Giving
know,
the kids
nowadays his
hope.
raps is about
Mhm.
you know telling
You know
more
who I
stories
see?
that we relate to in,
Who I
in
see
a
on those
positive
lines,
sense.
not to cut you off, my bad. Not this, Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah,
Nipsey, I see him.
Nip is
Coming
one of my
up,
favorite rappers
He's one
too.
of my favorite rappers
Yeah.
too. His
I've
substance.
been
where he come
growing
from.
on Nipsey been growing on.
But
me.
Nip
I
been
done
around
really
for a
listened
really
long
listen.
time. Nip been
Yeah,
around
yeah,
for
from
a
mixtape.
long time, man.
Yeah.
But I do like his music, and I like he brought up a lot of property on what's that Slauson in the L.A. area.
Mhm.
and
But
all
he's
that.
another black
another-
successful
yeah.
businessman that
Well, yeah.
There's
that
a-
isn't as I don't know, conservative as Jay-Z is now.
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
Like
yeah.
I feel like he's still more tapped into the hood.
Younger though.
And he younger though,
He
so
younger.
it makes sense. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I definitely respect Nip and what he got going on because it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And he's still in the city where he's from. He didn't leave
went
and
to
do
the
all
store,
of that
it's cool.
stuff. So
Yeah.
So
I
nice.
respect
Like,
it. Yeah, and he built up that whole block. Like
Yeah,
bought
it's
up
like
the block,
Killer
built
Mike,
the
too.
block.
in
Mhm.
Atlanta.
Man.
Yeah.
He got a lot of
Political,
I was
too.
in Atlanta. I went to the barbershop. You know, he got a
Oh, you
barbershop
did?
in the arena now.
Okay.
In the new Hawks arena.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So you
dope.
can get cut at the game.
I didn't
you
know that. That's
But
raw.
like that's his business, you know.
Yeah.
He making business moves and trying to have more black owned businesses, bring that culture back. you
True.
know.
His
we-
music,
We've shied away from that. A
yeah.
lot. We
for
shied,
sure.
You know, that,
For
that
sure.
could be another topic we can talk about
No.
another day. You
No, that's
know.
real
I
though.
mean, we touch on a lot, but that's a big thing that we don't see.
What exactly? Can you tell?
Black owned business or having our black owned communities.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Why you think that is?
I mean, gentrification is one thing, but also, I mean,
It's a lot of
it's
gentrification.
about handling your business right. You know,
Right.
mishandling money or pushing them ideas because
Mm.
you gotta stay relevant.
Definitely.
Everybody, you know, like you said, Jordan can make every shoe he's made in a different color, but each shoe's gonna sell out.
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
you can. A business is different. You know.
I think it's because of his name too. A lot of that is his name.
Yeah.
Hey, so have y'all heard that new 2 Chainz?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know LeBron produced that.
Yeah.
How did y'all feel about LeBron producing his music, and how is it making an impact? Because, you know, a lot of people are following LeBron, and they didn't know that he even had an ear for music like that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I see him all the time. I mean, it's cool. Why not? I mean, everybody got a ear for music, you know, because, I mean, we grow up listening to music. We grow up, you know, watching sports. They both, you know, connect, you know, intertwine together. But his perspective, or his, you know, he was doing, I think, some A&R work or whatever it was on it. But that's another thing under his belt.
True.
You know, his whole move to L.A. was, of course, probably from a basketball perspective.
Strategic. He's strategic planning.
He thinking about, he thinking like on the level of Jay-Z and Nipsey Hussle and all these other black. They trying to change that narrative that like we ain't got to see so many faces at the table that don't look like ours.
That don't look like us.
So why not put all our stuff in and you know, go from there. I mean, it's a great business move. Like I said, I respect him as a human being, as a player, you know. It's not against the Warriors, but
who was your you didn't say who was your least favorite artist?
Least favorite artist?
Yeah.
Probably the stuff I don't listen to, so I'm pretty sure it's a lot.
Right, it's not.
It's
really
a lot
like
of
I
new
can
stuff
choose
out
like
here.
one person. It's a lot of.
Can't
people.
say one for just this type of music then.
You know, I'm not saying like I don't like them, but I just don't listen to them. And that's because I mean, like we said, we maturing, we getting older, we either keeping
changes.
We keeping the same artists that we've grown to listen to. You know, we got Piggy, Biggie, Pac.
He call him Piggy.
Piggy.
You can't call him Piggy. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Hey, so why you think Bay Area rappers are not getting exposed or the recognition that a lot of people are getting, such as Nipsey in L.A.? Because he in California too. They just in L.A. Why do you think Bay Area rappers not really?
Like who though?
I just say Bay Area all around. I don't think. I mean, if you think about it, the hottest right now is 40.
Considered a Bay Area rapper.
E40 like the hottest, Too Short.
E40 Too Short. I mean, I feel like they get the most exposure. G-Eazy is huge though.
G-Eazy
like,
huge.
G-Eazy is huge. I Am Sue.
How many of them have won a Grammy?
I mean, it takes.
You know
Think about how many other artists have been around and won a Grammy. Whether it's R&B, gospel, you know, because Grammy is all categories.
True.
The thing about, I mean, Jay-Z won his Grammys, but he didn't run them like probably off the bat. It take time, you know.
Takes a lot of time.
I mean,
I think
that's a really good question though, because when you think about it, Bay Area artists don't get the clout and the exposure that other areas do. However, we do in our own way. You know what I mean? Like I said, so G-Eazy counts because he's like a multi-million-dollar recording artist.
Right.
E40 Too Short, but like Sue is probably like next level on the Bay. You know what I'm saying? Because I haven't. He does shows all over the world. You know what I mean? But probably like numbers wise, but you know, Sue music is dope. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like. I don't know. That's a really good question because LA does get a lot of exposure because it's LA. You know, the South does because Atlanta is hot. But you could probably say the same thing for a lot of areas, though. You know what I mean? It's like people have artists that you know. Like I feel like Houston for one, or like Dallas. Those big areas have a lot of local artists that I'm sure tour all over. You know what I'm saying? But on like a national scale or something, because you know some artists are bigger overseas than they are in the States anyway. But you know what I mean, from that perspective, like I feel like you do have artists that you know get overlooked, but
all the time.
That's on a larger scale. If you talk about their immediate area and the area where they from, they probably the hottest thing out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Sue in the Bay is extremely popping. You know
Right.
what I mean? SOB,
SOB,
RBE, huge in this region. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure people in New York is listening. I'm sure people all over the country is tapped in, but like on that level that these other artists are, maybe not as much.
I was in Ohio and I was riding, and I heard D-Lo. We don't know. And I'm like, what in Ohio? You know what I mean? And it was
or
just
like
something.
Kansas City, they listen to a lot of Bay
Kansas
Area
City?
music. They
I
like
had a show
Mac
in
Dre.
Kansas City.
They
I
listen
had
to Mac Dre a
Detroit,
lot.
Yeah.
They listen.
I feel like our music and Detroit music sound real similar. Sound a lot. Yeah,
like
sound
real
real
similar. Detroit and the Bay Area is cousins.
Yeah, because they start coming out here, though. They coming out here.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is we give them a lot of love, right? We give Detroit artists. We give Detroit artists more love than we give our own sometimes. You know what I mean?
Sometimes that's
I think
always gonna be the case
there
if
too.
you look at it like that though.
You said what?
You know what I mean? That's always gonna be the case if you look at it like that. For example, me, like I grew up liking music from the South.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's not to say I'm not slapping Bay Area music the other half of the time. You know what I'm saying? But you could be from somewhere else, but like have a liking for like another music. So it seems like you're not playing your own music a lot, but in reality you are. You just kind of like, but you know what I mean? We grew up in a time where like Nelly, Little John, Outkast, it was like the South was No Limit, all of them. Cash Money was like blowing up. So that's what we listened to.
True.
And people, it's crazy because people from other areas, like when we be like, oh, if we like play a Boosie or Webby album and we rapping the lyrics, they like, but you from California, like how you know that? But it's like, that's what was in at the time, so that's what was hot. So that's all I'm saying. Who's to say like somebody in another area actually does like Bay Area music better?
Yeah, it's a lot of folks.
You know,
like
you don't see it like you do.
You don't see it like that. You don't really see it like that because
we don't see it on a, like you said, we don't see it every day because we're not out there. We don't listen to their radio station. Even being in like the Bay Area, how we got 2 or 3 radio stations that are in, you know, in the Bay, and they play similar music.
Yeah.
But then you go outside an hour or 2 away, and they play our music, but they play a lot of artists from that area.
True.
You know, like the Valley. You know, Sac. Like Sac probably got Mozzie.
Yeah,
all up and down.
Mozzie is another one. Mozzie, how can I forget Mozzie? Mozzie is he global.
He's global.
You know what I'm saying? He's there.
Yeah,
for sure.
And he's, you know, and he's connecting, and you know, if they say like the Bloods, and a lot of people listen to that. I mean, not saying no judging that. I mean, he make great music.
The streets play a part.
He does. Yeah.
The streets play a big part.
That's what I'm saying. It's all up to the fans. The fans determine like what's going on and how they feel about your music.
Do you feel like Atlanta? I say Atlanta because I always hear about Atlanta. Do you feel like they stick together more than West Coast artists? As of like, if you think about Outkast, it's a lot of artists out there that actually I see just all together. You know what I mean? T.I., you see him with Jeezy sometimes. You see Jeezy with 2 Chainz. Like, do you see that? How they connect more?
Hanging out like you.
Yeah, they
seem
like
they hang
I
out.
think they push each other.
But I feel like at the same
they
time, like when Bay Area
together.
artists come together, we mess with each other.
We funk more than we connect. I believe.
I don't think so. I think that go everywhere.
I just been
everywhere.
Who have you seen? I mean, I don't know.
Like, if that's the case, I feel like Atlanta rappers is definitely funking more than Bay Area rappers, or I might be out
they
there.
hot as
They
hell.
killed what's his name outside of the studio.
The other day.
Not the other day, but the rapper that was hot in Atlanta like 2 years ago. I can't think of his name, but I feel like that I hear that more coming from the South than I do the Bay Area.
They got a lot. They got I feel like
it may be a little, but that's what I'm saying.
Because
I'm not
here
tapped
though.
in, though. I'm not tapped into the scene here, so it might be some young hot rapper that got killed. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace or whatever. But and then we wouldn't know. Like I wouldn't know because I'm not. That's like 10, you know what I mean? Like, if the teenagers is listening to something totally different than what we listening to. Like, we probably listen to more mainstream artists, whereas I'm, going through Snapchat or Instagram, and I hear some stuff that sound like some Bay Area music, but it's like I'm probably not tapped into that scene, though. You know what I'm
who
saying?
I think about when you say that? T Grizzly.
T Grizzly is
he sounds like
big, too.
Sounds like he could be from Bay Area, though.
Because he from Detroit.
Detroit.
That music, that sound sounds a lot like our sound. Like, they're really similar.
They taking our beats, man. Y'all got to stop beat jacking, man. No, I'm just playing. Hey, no, for real. I mean, I really appreciate y'all being here, for real, because y'all showing a whole different perspective. Like I said, this is all about perspective. And what I mean is, your views on life, your views on different things such as fashion, and I'm glad that I was able to tap in with them because they showed me their perspective. I actually had another question for y'all though.
Yeah, what's up?
It may be kind of, it's kind of crazy, man. All right, so who's the baddest female rapper right now? I'm not even gonna say.
Oh man, you went there.
I gotta go there, man. Who's the baddest female rapper right now?
Like lyrically or
lyrically.
Or physically and
both. You can say
by
both.
looks.
Both. You can say both.
We talking like mainstream or just
Yeah, mainstream.
do we know who's at the top?
No,
we know
I
who's
don't.
the top two.
I do, but I
Top
want the
two,
world
of
to
course,
know.
is who? What?
The
Cardi,
world knows
the
already,
ones that
bro.
you
Like,
hear,
yeah, like, what you-
in rotation on the radio in the
Oh.
club
Yeah.
at a party at an event is gonna be
The shooting.
Cardi and Nicki. You know,
Yeah,
they're at the top.
Cardi and Nicki.
But
Right.
there's a lot of art, just like there's a lot
You
of
got the City Girls
men
now.
artists
City
There's
Girls.
a Cash
They
Doll.
trendy. They trendy
Always
right
that
now.
had like
trendy,
a
of course,
following.
yeah. Cash Doll.
Yeah.
You got I don't know if Remy still.
But she's
Remy
hot.
Ma
She's
hot.
hot
Rapping
just
on-
because she's
I don't know.
active. Like Remy
And I know
got,
she just had a
she's
baby.
on
She had a
TV
baby,
shows. She was on, the
She
show. But I
came out
feel
of
like
prison, you know.
Remy
Right.
got bars too.
She got bars.
she got
She
bars.
might be, I don't know, arguably lyrically just as good as Cardi and Nicki. You know what I mean? But I
Cardi
feel like
hot.
Cardi is riding her wave, man.
Cardi
I
hot.
respect it
Yeah,
all the
her
way.
name is hot.
She at the top, and
All
her.
the way.
I mean, she done met,
I don't
married,
like
married,
comparing
right?
them.
Offset.
You don't like comparing them?
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah,
that?
I don't
Why you don't like
care
comparing Cardi and Nicki? Because that's really the subject.
Because it's always gonna be two different opinions. I can give you my opinion on
Yeah.
it, but like comparing them
Your
and like
perspective.
putting
Your-
one and two, it's hard. It's hard. I don't know. I don't listen to enough of their music to know. I'm
Yeah.
up to date on like hits and stuff like that. But like, if you want me to like sit down and like compare them, I remember in college we used to like
Have debate.
pick 4 songs from each artist. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
go back and
Yeah.
forth and like play their song and be like, who won that round? You know what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
dope
So I would
idea.
have to like do that with Cardi and
I'm gonna
Nicki
take that idea, man.
and do
And
that.
I-
But yeah, we used to
and
do that
I-
with like
yeah.
Jay-Z, Eminem,
Uh-huh.
rap. We'd take song for song and like sit there all night. You know what I'm saying? And,
Decipher 'em.
like, yeah, just like who had the better bars or whatever. But
I'm not gonna get too
Who
much
knows?
on that because I don't listen to them as much. You know, I
Yeah.
may hear their songs, but I'm not going on my way to download it or buy a CD, whatever it is.
Right.
You know, but like you said, there's a lot of trendy female rappers right now.
Uh-huh.
There's a whole bunch of them I hear. I see. Like you said, the social media. That's the way
Yes,
I keep up with it.
Right.
You got all these big media outlets like World Star, Shade Room, and Hip Hop Daily, whatever.
Yeah.
So we see it because we following that because
Right.
we like music, we like what they post or whatever. We not like what they post, but it's keeping us informed
True.
because I may not know. On my
Right.
daily life, I'm not listening to so much women artists. I'm barely listening to any music from new artists.
Right. That's
I
real.
may hear it. We may all say something, have a conversation, be like, oh, we heard this artist,
Uh-huh.
and then I might be like, nah, you playing it, so I'm gonna listen to it.
he be sending the weak links.
He be sending a weekly. What do you sending?
I don't know, man. I be
Like, what you
catching-
send us, man?
I
What
be
is
catching
this,
stuff
man? On the group chat.
like Double D's.
He playing.
He just sent me an Apple link, bro. He be cat. He
But
be
it
cat.
be, but like
His
one of
music
the
is
artists,
different.
I know.
one of the
For sure.
artists I
For
just
sure.
learned about, but he's had a following is the baby from
Oh,
Charlotte.
man, yeah.
He's blowing up.
Yeah.
And
And
what's
it's like
And
Sada
that's what I
Baby
said.
too.
It's
Sada
regional.
Baby.
Yeah, Sada Baby.
They from,
It's
like,
regional.
Detroit or something?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
or-
but it's regional. You know what I'm saying? Like people
Yeah,
in
it's
California
regional.
don't know about the baby yet.
But that's good
They
that
don't.
their music has touched.
And
that
even
means
if
he
you know what I'm
doing
saying, like
something.
as big as he got, I feel like we'll probably get his biggest hits,
Yeah.
but we not gonna get like what
Yeah.
North
Yeah,
Carolina
underground.
is playing,
Right,
what
right,
Texas is playing from his
True.
projects
like-
and stuff like that.
just
You know what I mean?
like
With the
I mean, you
Tatiana
got-
song. What's that? Who did it?
Blueface.
Blueface.
Blueface, baby.
Yeah, so that's the trend. That's the trend. You know what I mean? That's all of the trend.
How they do it?
I can't even do it.
Oh my God, man. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. This is all about perspective, man. Y'all
Blueface,
heard,
baby.
y'all heard Jay, y'all heard Pierre, man. I am Darrell Double D Smith, also known as Double D the College Kid. I appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. See y'all next time, for sure.